tell the story of the figure. You know, this is Hannibal's general crossing the Alps, so the fact that he's on snow-covered rocks helps to, it adds to the story of the character of the figure. But even things like tanks and aircraft and stuff like that, trains, of course, a long history of model railroading where the landscaping becomes very important. So today I'd like to try and, I'm sure I brought too many things to talk about, but I want to try to talk about materials that I like to use, and then I'll describe the process. And if I have enough time, I'll do a little sample, show you how a cool way to make some snow and maybe some tall grass. One thing about the ground cover is that well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, material. There are a lot of things that you can buy, a lot of products that you can buy. This is called flocking, which is the same. Sometimes it's called parastatic grass. This one is called tall grass, and it comes in different heights. There's a website that I like called Scenic Express, and they have a long list, page after page, of different types of ground cover materials for modelers and model railroaders. This comes in different colors. There is the short grass. This is you can buy this. This is Woodland Scenics. Really specializes in model railroaders, and many of the products that they make are too small in scale for larger things, you know, for dioramas and figures. But it comes in different colors, and a bottle like this costs, used to be about $8, now it's like $10. But I mean, you look at the quantity, and it's going to last many lifetimes, you know. And so what I do is I buy different colors. They'll make light green, medium green, dark green, what they call burnt grass, and something called wild honey, which is like tan or beige, you know, for making patches of weeds and stuff like that. And then I will, what I like to do is I make my own blend. One key to realism is that you want to confuse the eye. You don't want something that's going to wind up looking like a rug or that has even colors. You want to look for opportunities to make a whole variety of different colors and textures and things. This figure has real dirt, and it's got real pebbles or stones. And then it is, I allow some of the dirt to show through, and then it's got, these are dried flowers. You go to a craft store like Michael's, and you look for plants. I think this one's called rice grass, and it's not very expensive at all, and you can buy a big bunch of it because it's what people use to build these flower arrangements and stuff like that. And then I attach them to the base, and then I paint them. And I didn't bring that. No, this is a product. This is made in Italy, and I just try these things sometimes. This is I don't know what this is made from, but you can use it to make bunch it together and make little kind of shrubs, and then you can paint it and stuff. This is there's a line of different, this is like laser cut paper. Each leaf is separate, and they're made in Japan, I think. Yeah, Kamazukuri, JP. And they're really expensive. but they come, you can buy, I've seen so many figures where you look at the base and they'll have like 4 of these leaves painted and glued down because they don't want to use too much of them, you know.
Yeah.
They'll be like little 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. But they do amazing things if you want to get into a tropical, like a jungle foliage, broadleaf things and palm leaves and palm trees and stuff. They're phenomenal, those laser cut things. But what I use are, then there are other things that I like to use that I just kind of make myself. Here's some very inexpensive, I call this real dirt. But there is a little trick to it. I got this from, I went to a park and where a stream ran through, and when the water recedes, it leaves sediment, and so this is sediment from a stream, you know, on the bank of a stream, and the reason is if you just were to walk outside or go to your garden or something, you'd see a bunch of seeds in that, and I don't want any seeds in my dirt texture because you know, like a seed would, in scale, it would be like the size of a football.
That stuff's pretty fine, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have a sifter. You know, you get one of these metal screen things. You buy them at Target for a few bucks, and then you pour your dirt through a sifter.
Yeah.
And so this is the fine part, and then some of the dirt that's left over, I made into a little coarser dirt that I can use for gravel. See, this looks like scale. You know, if you want to do a stony beach or fill in around a larger rock on stuff like that. And leaves. These are, you can buy what they used to call them diorama leaves. You can buy packages of them from Scenic Express or something like that. This is what they're made from. These are the seed pods from silver birch trees.
Yeah.
And if you pick one up and you break it apart, they have this little, it's like a semi-transparent part of the thing. But basically,
I've tried to find a way to separate the two, and I haven't found an easy way.
what I do is I take my colander, or whatever that you call this little thing, stream, and then I rub it like this. And usually the fine part, this fine transparent part, will come through, will fall through. And then you're left with the what looks like a diorama leaf. Looks like that.
Yeah.
So that's where they come from. They come from these birch seed pods. And yeah, it's kind of a nuisance. So there's a couple. I can imagine somebody's going to come in here to clean up, and I'll say, how did these seeds get all the way over here? So. The other thing, I found some of the trees, they have, if you look at the pods, some of them are larger than others. So like on this one, yeah, see I've got some larger leaves in the foreground that look better with a 75 millimeter or a 90 millimeter figure, you know. And these are smaller, they're still green, but I always paint them. I'll leave them natural, or I'll paint them, you know, like I'll dry brush the highlights when I'm done, or I'll put a dark wash and then I'll dry brush some highlights.